Ever wondered what's really going on in your head when you see something truly beautiful? Well, today we're diving into neuroaesthetics, the amazing science that actually explains that exact feeling. You know those moments, right? A view that's just breathtaking, a song that hits you right in the chest, a painting that just stops time for a second. It feels totally magical. But what if I told you it wasn't? Yeah, that feeling of pure awe, that little rush of pleasure, that's a real, measurable, biological event firing off inside your brain. So let's get into the science that explains why beauty can hit us so hard. For literally centuries, philosophers have argued about beauty. Is it something out there in the world, or is it all just in the eye of the beholder? Well, now, modern science is finally stepping into the ring with some incredible answers. And this is the field right at the center of it all. See, neuroaesthetics doesn't bother asking the old philosophical question, what is beauty? Instead, it asks a biological one. What is physically happening in our brain circuits when we feel that something is beautiful? And trust me, that changes the whole game. What's really wild is that brain scans show key areas lighting up almost instantly when we see something we find beautiful. This is that gut reaction we all talk about. It's literally your brain's reward system going, yes, way before you've even had a chance to consciously think, hey, I like this. So, what is going on under the hood exactly? When you look at a piece of art, your brain fires up two major networks that work in tandem to create that rich aesthetic experience we all know. Think of it this way. On one side, you've got that immediate gut punch of pleasure, that wow factor. That's your brain's reward system doing its thing. But then on the other side, you've got this deeper, more thoughtful feeling, where the art actually connects to you. That's your default mode network getting to work. It's a pretty simple but incredibly powerful chain reaction. You see something beautiful, it triggers that reward circuit in your brain, and boom, dopamine, the ultimate feel-good chemical, gets released. This is the exact same system that lights up when you eat an amazing meal or hug someone you love. Beauty, in a very real, biological sense, is a reward. And inside that reward system, it's like a perfectly tuned orchestra. You've got one part of your brain making the dopamine, another part giving you that jolt of pleasure, and a third part acting like a judge, helping you decide that, yes, what you're seeing is valuable and important. But pleasure is only half the picture. The reward system gives you the wow, but the default mode network is what makes art feel personal and meaningful. This is the network that's active when you're daydreaming or thinking about the past. It's what weaves a piece of art into the fabric of your own life story. It's the reason a certain song can feel like a time machine right back to your childhood. Okay, so we've seen how the brain processes beauty, but what is it about the world that our brains just seem to be drawn to over and over again? Well, it turns out there might be some universal patterns that we are all hardwired to love. A fantastic example of this is something called the savannah hypothesis. The whole idea is that we are instinctively drawn to landscapes that look like the African savannas where our species first evolved. Places with water, lots of green, wide open spaces. To our ancestors, that spelled safety and resources. So that peaceful feeling you get in a beautiful park, that's basically your ancient survival instincts giving you a thumbs up. But this hidden code goes way deeper than just landscapes. It seems there's a mathematical formula for beauty, and it all starts with this one number, the golden ratio. This specific proportion, which just feels naturally balanced and harmonious to our brains, shows up over and over again in nature. The classic example is the perfect spiral of a nautilus shell. And it's not just nature. The greatest artists in history, from Leonardo da Vinci to the architects of the Parthenon, seem to have intuitively used these exact same proportions to create works that just feel right to the human eye. And get this code isn't just out there in the world. It is literally in you. The symmetry of the human face is a universal sign of beauty across cultures. And why? Because deep down, on an instinctual level, our brains read symmetry as a sign of health and good genes. Our sense of beauty is tied directly to our most basic drive to survive. So, okay, we've got these universal biological rules for beauty. But that's not the whole story, not by a long shot. Because what we find beautiful is also constantly being twisted and reshaped by culture, by context, and now by technology. I mean, just take a quick trip through history. It shows you right away that beauty standards are anything but fixed.
Renaissance art loved full-bodied figures because it signaled wealth and health. Then the Victorians came along and it was all about modesty and restraint. And today, we're swimming in a world of digitally perfected, constantly changing ideals. Every era's idea of beauty is just a reflection of its values.
And the power of context is just mind-blowing. Back in 1917, an artist named Marcel Duchamp took a regular urinal, signed it, and stuck it in an art gallery. In a bathroom, it's just plumbing. But in a gallery, it became one of the most important artworks of the 20th century. It just proves that our perception isn't just about the thing itself, but about the frame we decide to put around it.
And today, that frame is shifting in a huge way. A powerful new player is stepping into the world of art, one that can learn our rules of beauty, mimic them, and even create something new all on its own: artificial intelligence.
And this is not some sci-fi fantasy. In 2018, a portrait made completely by an algorithm sold at the famous Christie's auction house for over $430,000. That was almost 40 times what they expected it to sell for. This proves that AI isn't just a new paintbrush. It's becoming a creator in its own right. And it's forcing us to question what creativity even means. Which leaves us with a pretty deep question to chew on. We've seen that beauty is this incredible dance between our evolutionary brain, our reward circuits, and our culture. But if a machine can learn and replicate all of that, what does that say about our own uniquely human spark? A fascinating thought to leave you with.